We will start with the fourth presentation of motion, which is chapter 2 in your textbooks, children. In today's presentation or in today's class, we will be discussing the rest of the topics which we left in the last class of simple pendulum. All right, let's go on to the next slide now, children. Now, in the last slide, I had given you this particular symbol, okay? That is, in this one of the slides, last one, what are the factors on which the time period of a pendulum depends upon? Now, the time period of a pendulum depends upon two factors. That is the length of the pendulum, which is denoted by capital N, and acceleration due to gravity, which is denoted by a small g. Now, if you look at the formula as to what is the formula of the time period of the pendulum, time period of the pendulum is equals to 2 pi root under L by g, where L is the length of the pendulum and g is the acceleration due to gravity. Okay. Now, let's discuss both of them. That is the factors like how does the time period depend on the length of the pendulum and how does it depend on the acceleration of the pendulum individually is in the coming slides. Now, this slide was also given in the last presentation, but I would like to put together all the formulas for the simple pendulum together at one place. Now, the topic is how is the time period of the pendulum dependent on the length of the pendulum. Okay. Now, after a lot of experiments that were performed, okay, a lot of experiments when it was discovered and when the experiments was being performed, it was found that the time period of the pendulum, that is T, was found to be directly proportional to the square root of the length of the pendulum. Alright, I will repeat. Time period of the pendulum was found to be directly proportional to the square root of the length of the pendulum. Now, if you look at this particular instance over here, it simply means over here is when this length increases, time period increases. When this length decreases, this time period decreases. Okay. The only difference is going to be if it is going to increase, then the value of the time period will increase with the square root of the value of the length. Are we clear with this? Everyone remember, it is directly proportional, but it is again directly proportional to the square root of the length. Clear? Now, again, as I have said in the last classes, it is again for this reason that the pendulum clocks go slower in the summer season. Why? Because the length of the pendulum is going to increase. Now, why is it going to increase? Because of the thermal expansion of heat being applied on it, and when it is applied on the length of the pendulum, it is going to increase. Now, if this is going to increase, what happens to the time period? In return, time period also increases. That is why we find that the pendulum clock swings slowly, that is there, and that is why the clock loses time, all right, during the summer seasons. Now, let's go on to the next slide, please. Now, second one is the dependence of time period on the acceleration due to gravity. If you look at this particular equation here, you will find that according to this particular equation here, you find that the time period of the pendulum is directly proportional to 1 by square root of g. I will repeat. Time period of the pendulum is directly proportional to 1 by square root of acceleration due to gravity. Or the other way how you can say it is this, that time period is inversely proportional to the square root of acceleration due to gravity. Is that clear? Now, very simple way of taking out the meaning from this is when g is going to be more, okay, that is if this is going to be more, this will be less, that is the time period will be less. And if this is going to be less, that is the acceleration due to gravity is going to be less, you will find that the time period is going to be more. Clear? Now, what happens on the moon? On the moon, when g is less, we will find that the time period of the on the moon of the pendulum is going to be more over there. All right, g is less. If you remember, we had discussed the acceleration due to gravity on the moon is 1/10 of what it is there on the earth. So obviously, if you are going to have a lesser value of g here, then the value of t is also going to be more. So lesser g, more t. Clear? So we find that we have two equations now for time period. First one was time period is directly proportional to the square root of the length, and time period is directly proportional to the to 1 by root over g. Okay, let's go on to the next slide now. Now in the next slide, what I have done is I have combined both of them, what we had studied in the last two slides, okay? And then we have found out the equation for the time period of the pendulum. Now from the experiments that were performed, okay, we found that time period is directly proportional to the square root of L. We also found out that time period was directly proportional to 1 by square root of G. Combining these two equations together, what we found was time period is directly proportional to the square root of L divided by square root of G. Now, in maths, I do not know whether you are aware of it. When you take this proportionality sign away and you put the equal to sign, okay? Again, I'm going to say, if you're going to remove this proportionality sign and you're going to put an equal to sign, we always add a constant to the right hand side of the equation. I will repeat, whenever you're taking the proportionality sign away and you're putting it over here, you're substituting it with an equal to, you always put a constant quantity to the right hand side of the equation. So that is exactly what we have done is, we have put a constant quantity that is 2 pi into root over L by G. Now, I can simply write it over here in this equation form is going to be, now I have written it over here is, it can be T is equals to 2 pi root over LG. Now we know that T is equals to 1 by frequency, which we studied in the last class, which is going to give it 2 pi root over L by G. Now when we are going to do 1 by when we are going to calculate f will be equals to 1 by t, that is 1 by 2 pi root over L by G, which just becomes 1 by 2 pi root over G by L. Solve this and see in maths if you're getting it or not. Just solve it, like from this equation, how did this come in terms of f, if we are talking about it, that is frequency of this particular pendulum. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. And again, you need to practice this whole thing for you to understand it a little better. It's just like, don't leave it like looking at this particular slide, don't leave it like that. You need to study it more to understand it more. Okay, children? Okay, now what are the factors on which the time period of a pendulum doesn't depend upon? We have seen on what factors it depends upon. Now we are going to see on what factors it doesn't depend upon. Okay, now it doesn't depend upon three things. First is the mass of the bob. Now whether the mass is of the bob is heavy or light, the time period doesn't depend on that. Now nature of material of the bob. Now whether the bob is made up of wood, copper or brass, the time period of the pendulum doesn't depend on that. And third is amplitude of oscillation. Now if the amplitude of oscillation is small or large, the time period of the pendulum is not dependent on that factor. So again I will assimilate the factors on which the time period of a pendulum doesn't depend upon are mass of the bob, nature of material of the bob, and amplitude of oscillation of that particular pendulum. All right, now let's go on to the last slide for this particular class. Now the last topic that we are going to discuss today for today's class, okay, is going to be what is the seconds pendulum. Now this is, if you go to find out what is the figure for a seconds pendulum, this is what the figure looks like. Okay, I'm not going to go into the intricacies or details of this particular diagram. I will just give you the brief highlights of what you should know right now at your particular level. It is that, what is a seconds pendulum? It is a pendulum which has a time period of 2 seconds, and that is why it is known as a seconds pendulum. That is a pendulum whose time period is of 2 seconds. Now, what does it mean? It means that it completes one oscillation in 2 seconds. Again, what does this particular statement mean? That it is the pendulum which has a time period of 2 seconds. That means that means a time period of 2 seconds means that, if you remember from the last class that we had given you the definition of time period. I had told you the number of oscillations, the amount of time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation. Again, the time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is said to be the time period of the pendulum. That is why it means that if you say that the time period is 2 seconds, that is, it means that in 2 seconds one oscillation gets complete. Now if we are going to reverse this, that is, in 2 seconds if one oscillation gets complete, then in 1 second how many oscillations? Is definitely going to come to 1 by 2. So this is the answer, that is, the frequency of the second pendulum is equals to 0.5 Hertz. I will repeat how you got this. Frequency, we know that is equals to 1 by time period. Now time period is 2. So 1 divided by 2 is equals to 0.5. If you try to solve it, you will be able to know that. Now, before we are going to like move away from this particular class, okay, or for your summer vacations or break for the summer vacations, I would just like to say that we have finished in the topic of simple pendulum, and you need to finish all these, studying all this during your summer vacations, so that when you come back we can start with the further topics and continue with the topics further. All right, thank you children.